To close out the 2026 NFL Draft, I'm here with President of Football Operations and General Manager John Lynch and our head coach Kyle Shanahan. Now, John, you came into day 3 with several picks, even made a move to get another 5th rounder and then a 6th rounder for next year. Tell me how these picks today really completed your vision for this year's class.
Well, we just added a lot of good players. A lot of players that there's the whole process kind of a fascinating one where scouts are working on it for a long time. After the season, the coaches get done and they kind of take their break and then they come back and jump in it. We got R&D and we put all that together and we come out with conviction on players and consensus, and it's a cool process. And we end up in a spot where you kind of let the draft come to you. You do some moving around, but most of all, we end up with players that we believe are Niners and fit the criteria that we really value. And I think we found a number of those guys today and throughout this draft.
Amazing. Now, Kyle, the 2 traits that stick out amongst all the players who were drafted for this entire class were toughness and physicality. How do you see those roles playing out in the identity you want this team to play with?
Regardless of anything else, it's hard to be successful in football if you aren't tough and play with physicality. It's a physical sport. You want guys who can run. You want smart guys. You want everything. But if they're not ready to hit every single day, then it's going to be tough to be successful in this league.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, you added help to the line of scrimmage in this year's class, adding both to the defensive line and offensive line. Do you feel that the roster is now tougher in the trenches?
Well, I think the trenches are always, there's an old adage, you win and lose up front. And, we feel really good about the mix that we have. We got some guys like Trent Williams who've been doing this at the highest level for a long time. And now you add some younger guys into that group. And same thing on the defensive line, where the last couple of years we've added a couple of players to join the guys, the Nick Bosa's, not talking like he's been around forever, but I think it's a good mix, and we want to be strong up front, and I think we are.
I wanted to ask you about Dejan and Kalon. How do you see them carving out roles for themselves on this team?
Well, I don't think you can add enough receivers or running backs. They move the needle in everything you do. You look at receivers, I think they've been 3 out of the last 5 rookies of the year. It's because they're so impactful. Receivers make plays and score touchdowns, and running backs are almost the same thing. You just hand it to them a little bit more. So they're the people who move the ball. They're the ones who score points, and you can use a lot more than one of them. So I expect them to help in a lot of areas.
All right, John, now that all 8 picks are set, what's next for this team?
Well, the guys are upstairs working on free agency. This thing never stops, and free agency is really important. A lot of great players. Kyle's dad coached a guy, Rod Smith, that was a teammate of mine that was a free agent. So you never know what you can unearth during this phase of the process. And so the guys are upstairs, and hopefully we're adding some really great new Niners to the team, and you got to keep going.
John, Kyle, congratulations on another successful draft. Thank you.